Juror jitters still plague Deane murder trial. Though one witness has died, and there is a concern that there may be not enough jurors, the Deane murder trial is still expected to get underway on March 3rd, with evidence presented in over 25 days. It will be a judge and jury trial. Presiding over a case management hearing in Westmoreland Circuit Court on Friday, Supreme Court Justice Courtney Day spoke of the impact of the passage of time can have on the long overdue trial of 3 cops charged in connection with the 2014 beating death of then 31-year-old Deane. The loss of time can also cause problems with the availability of witnesses, availability of evidence of document, and these are important. These are important because everything needs to be available for a full hearing of the evidence and a full determination of the issue, stated Justice Day. According to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, one witness has reportedly died, according to a family member, and the prosecution has examined the possibility of using a disposed statement of what was said outside of the court on record. The individual was reportedly subject to a preliminary inquiry before a St. James Parish Court. However, defense attorney Martin Thomas, who is representing 2 of the accused, suggested that the Crown would need to provide proof of death. Also discussed on Friday was the issue of jury availability, which plagued the case when it was in St. James. The court was told that 104 jurors had turned up for the duty on February 17. The first day of the case was mentioned after being transferred to Westmoreland. However, Justice Day said a subsequent file has shown that about 100 individuals have indicated that they will not be available for jury duty. I am not deterred by that, stated Justice Day, who noted that this shows the importance of having sufficient jurors for a trial. He said more jurors are to be summoned in time for March 3rd commencement date. The hope is that enough of them will show up. This will determine whether the March 3 date remains the same. The 3 cops on trial are Corporal Elaine Stewart and Constables Juliana Cleveland and Marlon Grant. They are all charged with manslaughter, perverting the court of justice, and misconduct in a public office. The allegations are that Deane was arrested for possession of ganja's cliff and placed in custody where he was brutally beaten on August 3, 2014. Deane received several injuries to his brain, which left him in a coma. He died 3 days later at Connor Regional Hospital in St. James. It is alleged that the 3 cops who were on duty at the police station at the time when Deane was beaten. It is further alleged that the Corporal Stewart instructed that the cell in which the attack took place be cleaned before the arrival of investigators from the Independent Commission of Investigations. In May 2014, St. James Parish Judge Sandra Wong Small ruled that the 3 cops should stand trial. Security was among the housekeeping matters discussed during Friday's court management hearing. The point was made that adequate measures must be in place, however. Consideration must be given to the public and human rights groups that they may have an interest in the case and want to attend court. The case has been heavily covered by the media over the years, and Justice Day on Friday suggested that media houses will have to agree on 2 or 3 main practitioners who will be allowed inside the courtroom and the information shared with other outlets. He also made it clear that there should be no media interviews done by traditional or social media of witnesses and jurors while the trial is underway. Several charges laid against St. Catherine wanted man who was nabbed on Sunday. Several charges, including murder, have been laid against a St. Catherine man who was nabbed last Sunday. He is 47-year-old laborer Gregory Ferguson, otherwise called Ruff, of Cherry Lane, Kitson Town. Charges of illegal possession of firearm and illegal possession of ammunition were also laid against him. Ferguson was listed as wanted by the police for the murder of 25-year-old Cody McLaren in Duncan Spence, St. Catherine on Sunday, March 7, 2021. Reports were that about 9:30 a.m., McLaughlin was at the community when he was allegedly pounced upon by Ferguson, who was armed with a gun. It is further alleged that Ferguson opened fire, hitting him in the upper body before escaping on foot in the area. He was pronounced dead at hospital. On Sunday, February 16, an intelligence-led operation was conducted in Kitson Town, during which Ferguson was apprehended. He was later charged. His court date is being arranged. PM Holness welcomes Fitch rating for Jamaica. Fitch Rating has affirmed Jamaica's long-term foreign currency issuer, the fraud rating, at BB. It added that the rating outlook is positive. In a statement, Fitch said that the rating reflects stronger governance than the peer median, significant progress with debt reduction, and sound fiscal framework, and a strong political commitment to delivering large primary surpluses. It said debt to GDP has fallen to a forecast 70%, 8% in the fiscal year 2024 to 2025, from a high of 135.3% of GDP in fiscal year 2012 to 2013. Fitch noted that the rating remains constrained by deep structural weaknesses including subdued growth potential owing to high crime rate, low productivity and weak demographics, as well as vulnerability to external shocks including weather-related. It said the positive outlook reflects an expectation of continued improvement in debt metrics and further strengthening of the political framework over the next few years, including climate risk mitigant. Meantime, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has welcomed the latest rating, which has affirmed Jamaica's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating at BB, with the outlook remaining positive. He commented on the rating while addressing a Jamaica diaspora town hall meeting in Barbados last evening, following his participation in the Caribbean country CARICOM Heads of Government meeting. Holness said the government intends to continue being fiscal disciplined and practicing good financial management while positioning Jamaica for growth. He noted that the economic growth is fueled by continued investment in some key areas.
BB minus is about third on their scale of ranking. Barbados is B plus, which is just below Jamaica's rating. Again, I know that there is somebody saying, so how that help me? You know, rating agencies don't just look at our financial position. They are an aggregation of a large volume of information about a country. And they are usually very good at determining what is happening in a country. So rating fundamentals, continued positive outlook. Jamaica's BB minus ratings reflect stronger governance than the peer median. What does that mean? That Jamaica's management is better than countries in its peer group. Now, having achieved this, what's next? How are we going to get to the point where we are able to give the stipend to our students who study overseas? So some of you may have heard the government saying, we're going to pivot. So we are keeping our foot firmly planted on fiscal discipline and good fiscal management, but now we are turning and positioning ourselves for growth. Because the fiscal agenda, it's good because you are using your revenues, your own resources, to treat with the needs of the people. But coming from Jamaica's position, where the unmet needs are so great, you need to find a way to expand your earned resources very quickly. Because what will happen if you don't do that is that the political pressure will get very overwhelming, and it will just destroy the fiscal sacrifice that has been made. So governments in our position have to now figure out, how do we expand the economy? How do we get the economy to grow? And that's the next struggle that we have. Because for the last 50 years, our economy really has not grown significant. That's the challenge, growth. And how do we get growth? Well, first thing I'd like to say is that, growth is a function of productivity. That's the first thing, that each of us, we have to produce more. Secondly, growth is a function of innovation. All right, we have to do things differently. We have to become more efficient. We have to integrate technology. And indeed, we have to become creators of technology. And thirdly, growth is a function of diversification. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. After a while, there's a limit to what growth you can get for that. You have to do new things. And then growth is a function of complexity, meaning that you have to build an economy that is connected with all the other parts of the economy.
St. James man dies after motorcycle crashing involving utility wires. A St. James man died on Friday after his motorcycle reportedly became entangled with wires from a utility pole, causing him to fall. The deceased has been identified as 37-year-old Vilmir Lewis, otherwise called Judith, of goodwill in St. James, the police noted. Reports from the Adelphi police are that around 9:03 a.m., Lewis was riding along the main road when he got caught into the wires and was thrown from his motorcycle. He was knocked unconscious and later taken to hospital by residents, where he was pronounced dead. Investigators are probing the circumstances surrounding the incident. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.